Today's Love Talk is sponsored by Dotado.
No one's coming to push you.
Head on over to
No
Dotado.com
one's
to
coming
get
to tell you
all
to
of
turn
your
the TV
Dotado apparel.
No one's coming
Thank
to
you for
tell you to get
sponsoring
out the door and
today's Love
exercise.
Talk.
Nobody's coming to tell you to apply for that job that you've always dreamt about. Nobody's coming to write the business plan for you.
Hey y'all, welcome back to Love Talk. This month on Love Talk, we are talking about the power of the Black man and Black fathers matter. As we all know, Father's Day is right around the corner, and there's no better person than to have on Love Talk for this segment than Dr. Russel Ledet. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm doing absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for having me on.
You are so welcome. When I thought about just this segment, I was going through just my catalog of people in my head. People that I thought about, and I'm like, I gotta reach out. I kept so busy, and I was like, I saw you on live yesterday, and I'm like, this is my moment. So I reached out today. But before we dive into the heart of the conversation, what city and state are you tuning in from?
I'm tuning in from New Orleans, Louisiana.
Yes. And Dr. Ledet, you are no stranger to Love Talk. We've had you before. We're very familiar with you, but I want you just to tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so my name is Dr. Russel Ledet. I'm a physician and a scientist, but I'm also an advocate for Black folks, and really just a leader for bold change. And that's kind of my story, man. You know, obviously the stuff that I'm doing with the 15 White Coats is really powerful. And that's mainly what we're known for. But I'm doing a whole lot of other stuff. I've had a really big viral moment with I'm Proud of You, Black Man, which I'm turning into a YouTube series and a couple of other things. And I'm writing some cartoons. So I kind of got my hand in a lot of different stuff. But I think the most important thing to know about me is that I'm a really dedicated father to two young Black queens. And I give them all I got all the time. And there's a lot of reasons for that. But the most important reason is because if I don't do it, then who will?
Man, I got goosebumps just listening to you speak because it's so powerful. And I want to kind of talk about that viral moment that you just mentioned. Not only was it a viral moment, it was a moment in history. It was a compelling moment. And I think it was so powerful, not only because you were the only Black man in the country to match into triple board residency in this year, but also because you were so proud of yourself. You can see how your children were proud of you, your wife. One of your daughters was just smiling, just, twirling. The other daughter was feeling the emotion. She was crying, embracing you. And your wife was there consoling you, wiping your tears. You can just see it speaking to you. And we're going to talk about this later, but your wife speaks life into you. And it's so important for us as Black women, especially, to pour into Black men. And you kept, I'm proud of you, Black man. I'm proud of you. And let me tell you something. You weren't whispering it. You were
nah.
It was just like excellence, not just excellence. Black excellence. And I'm proud of you, Black man. And I wrote that under your post. But in that moment, what was that feeling like for you?
I'm proud of you, Black man. 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 Let's go, man.
To be honest with you, Angel, I don't think I had a feeling. I think I had a moment. I think I had a meeting with my younger self. A lot of people were like, how were you able to do that? I was like, I can share my emotions at home, but I also, it's so often that I share my emotions at home that it spills over into like the public. Like, I am who I am. And if you like it, you like it. And if you don't, well, that's okay. Like Jesus is dead 2,000 years ago and people don't like him either. So I'm not really too bothered about you not liking me, but I need to live my life out loud. That's just the way I love to live. And in that moment, I felt like I was just talking to the younger Black boy, just like you hung on, you didn't give up, and you didn't let the world kill you. And so I had to talk to him, you know, and I wrote this post recently just saying how I wrote a letter to the younger Black boy that I was, and just was telling him, like, I did all this because I love you that much, you know? So becoming a child psychiatrist is about loving the younger Black boy that I was. Becoming a pediatrician is about loving the young Black boy that I was. And really just giving him what he needed, which is something that's deeply personal, but also deeply relatable. I think every Black man can relate to the needs of a young Black boy when they were young. And now as an adult, dealing with that lack, and looking for spaces and places where that lack is no longer a lack. So that's why I really lean on my wife as much as I do, because I feel like I can find a lot of solace in being around her, and just like comfort and just being a Black man. Like, I don't have to be a hero. I don't have to be the fix-it-all guy. I don't have to be the guy who makes the most money. I could just be a Black man. Like, I could smile, I could laugh, I could cry, I could be silly. I could do all those things. And I think for Black men, they rarely experience that kind of freedom. So that's what that moment was about, was me talking to the younger Black boy, you know, and telling him, I'm proud of you, Black man, you know, and I know how much effort and just this has been unimaginably tough to get to this point. And people have no idea. Like, one day it'll come out just how much of a struggle it was to get here. It'll be in a book or a movie or something. But until then, I'm going to keep telling the story of just how important it is to be resilient, but also just to surround yourself with people who unadulteratedly love you.
And I just want to give a huge shout out to your wife for and allowing you to be yourself. And like you said, not to be that superhero all the time, to be able to be vulnerable and open and, you know, so huge shout out to your wife for that moment, for allowing you to be. And let's talk about I'm proud of you, Black man, for a second. We all have a story, but why are you so proud of you, Black man?
I think because, like, this entire time, I rarely felt like I was supposed to sit where I am. I was supposed to be where I am. And in spite of those feelings, I just kept going. You know, in science, there aren't that many Black men. I found some Black men who I was able to come close to, Dr. Marcus Lambert and Philip Thomas, both of those brothers in science. They actually flew down here from New York for my medical school graduation. And one of them actually hooded me. I haven't even released the video, but one of a Black man hooded me to become a doctor, to become a physician. Yeah, one of my closest friends, a Black man, hooded me to become a physician. And, you know, I had that cocoon of people that I could be around, but other than that, science never felt right, like a place a Black man belonged. Medicine is very similar, in that there aren't that many Black men in medicine to begin with. You know, so in spite of that, I still was able to persevere. I failed the medical board exam about 2 or 3 months before match day. So typically that test should be well done by the time match day comes around. You shouldn't even have to worry about that. But I didn't find out I passed my second time until like less than a month from the day we submit our rank list. So, you know, it was just difficult. It was really difficult. I had just lost a cousin to a really horrific accident. And, you know, I've just had to fight a lot. I've had to fight a whole lot to get to where I am. And I think it dawned on me when I matched that where I got to was no small feat. It's rare air up here. Like, I'm an MD, PhD, and an MBA. And I didn't pay for most of this education, so I'm practically debt free on that. And that's wild as a Black man. And then I think the other thing is too, Angel, if I'm honest about it, is that throughout this whole thing, the one thing I'm most proud of is that I kept my culture.
Yes.
Like, that's really hard to do. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you. It's the hardest thing to do, to hear all the comments about your hair, about the way that you talk, the way you behave. And you know what they're saying. You know what they're trying to say. You ghetto, you this, you that, you're loud. You got these orange LeBron shoes on. You got basketball shorts on. You got big Beats headphones on. Like, this stuff doesn't fit in this culture. And I was like, I'm bringing my culture, like, and I want y'all to be okay with my culture. I used to tell my wife, like, nah, don't cut your dreads. Like, we don't need to cut your dreads in order for you to come to a dinner with me. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do your dreads before we go to this event. So I think, and we'll talk about that. I think it's important to talk about that, but that's why. I think that's the reason why I kept my culture throughout this whole thing. If I didn't keep my culture, the 15 white coats wouldn't exist. Mm-hmm. Which is harder to do than people can imagine. I can understand why some people kind of take their culture and put it in a pocket and say to themselves, like, I'm gonna bring this back out when I'm only around people I'm comfortable with. I think I went a little bit further than that. I brought my culture with me everywhere. When we be in spaces and they be like, what song you want to listen to? I'd be like, J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar. And they're like, I'm like, y'all asking me what song I want to listen to. I don't want to listen to no rock. I want to listen to Keith Sweat, Tank, Tyrese. Like, so it make people uncomfortable when they like, I've never heard that before. I'm like, I also don't know who the Fried Green Tomatoes and Stain and all these other people are. So we on the same page. You don't know who Leonard Skinner is? I was like, you don't know who Tupac is. So we on the same page. So, I think that's something to be proud of too.
And I want to just thank you for that, because you're literally paving a way, giving a representation to the young Black kids that are looking up to you or coming behind you. Because if no one does that, if everybody continues just to put the culture in the box, like the box behind you, then we won't be represented. We won't have the culture in areas where the culture isn't. So I just really want to thank you for that. And let's talk for a second. You said in a post days before the moment of the viral video, your wife came to you and said, Russell, you have done a lot, Black man. Hold your head high. And you can hear what her heart was telling you more than her words. And you went on to the power, the love, the comfort, the belief, the prayer, and the dream. And we kind of talked about it a little bit already, but as a Black man throughout your whole journey, how important was it for your wife to support you and be there for you?
Yeah, I think that was everything, man. My wife she's not only been my saving grace, I think she's been my person. She's been my personal person, like that, that person that you like, look, it don't matter what's going on. It doesn't matter how this thing is working out. Like, that's my person. That's my person who's like, she could look me in the eye and be like, all right, we just about to do this next hard thing. Yes, it's difficult. Yes, it's hard, but we're about to do this next hard thing. So she's been my everything. I've been with her since high school. So, and we've been married for 16 years. So I've really had somebody that I could consistently lean on. And I think it's incredibly powerful and beautiful that it was a Black woman. I remember sending a text message to Dr. Marcus Lambert, the guy I was talking about earlier. He has a Black woman as his wife as well. And I was telling him, I was like, bro, you ever just sit there and just say to yourself, like, dang, I got like an angel on earth. Like, I got like an angel just like walking around my house like every day. Just like I could talk to him. I could like pray with them. I could like talk to him. I could hug him. Like I got a real, like God blessed me with an angel in my house. You know, usually you like, you know, praying for angels to encamp around you and all these other things, but it's a different thing when like they live in your house and they like a person. And that's been my wife, man. She's been my best friend in every sense of the word. She's been my best friend. She's the person I can laugh with, joke with, fuss with. Every time we get in the car, we fuss about how I drive. And it's so funny to listen to because then I can't tell her about how she drives. You know, and she like, I'm a perfect driver. So it's just funny to live with your best friend because you know you fuss with your best friend and you know but you also love with your best friend and you can laugh with them. So that's what's made this whole journey possible is my wife, man. You know, she's been something that I can't quite describe. And the greatest part about this is that she always tells me like, you know, Russell, so you don't owe me anything. She's like, you don't owe me anything for doing what I've done. I've done it because you did it for me. Like you loved on me. It was interchangeable. You know, it was an exchange. It wasn't a one-sided thing. Obviously, I think it's easier to talk about my journey because it's visible, it's powerful, it's inspiring, and it's unique. But I think there's a story my wife can tell about from her own lens what this journey has felt like and what she's had to do that is just as inspiring and just as unique and just as powerful that one day we'll be able to tell and you know and really share her side of the story. But I just think I'm not gonna say I got lucky. I just been blessed, man. She's been my rock, like the person I could just like be everything, like I could just be a dude. And she'd be like, yeah, that's my husband. You know, she always tells me like, listen, what you see is what you get. He loud, he big, he gonna love on you, but he might be a little wild. Like, you know, but you gotta be in order to get to around, man. I think any other way wouldn't be justified.
So in this moment right now, I want you to look at the camera and say whatever it is that is on your heart to your wife.
I love you, honey. Thank you for being my best friend. Thank you for being my road dog. And thank you for defying the odds with me. Our children are blessed to know you. I'm blessed to know you. This world is blessed to know you. And we're going to keep climbing this mountain one step at a time.
I love it. Just the Black love. I love it. Now let's talk about a little bit the power of the Black man. You have on Instagram called Let's Celebrate Black Men. So let's just talk about the power of the Black man. So for you, what is the power of the Black man?
I think the power of the Black man lies in our ability to keep waking up and keep trying. I'm not going to sit up here and say that this world is very kind to Black men. I think this world is incredibly harsh to Black men. I almost think of the way our world is right now as an abusive relationship to Black men. As long as we're working hard and we're producing, we'll get a little bit of the pie. But I was telling a colleague of mine yesterday that when I close my eyes, I can visualize a Black man in an orange jumpsuit, but I can't visualize a Black man being celebrated.
That's deep.
And everybody can close their eyes and visualize a Black man in an orange jumpsuit. And so what that means is that the imagery in my brain is centered around the value of the Black man being so low that they can be enslaved and it's not a problem. Obviously, Black men get incarcerated at a higher rate than anyone. We know that. And so the Black man getting up every day and, you know, handling their business, whether it's through entrepreneurship or investing or the job or whatever, the ones that are handling their business, I think I'm proud of them. I'm proud of them because I know how hard it is to do that. I have to do it every day. You know, my wife always tells me, like, I love you and I want you to be safe out there. And she always tells me that. And I think she tells me that because I think she's aware. Like, she knows just how difficult it is. And I tell her about it. And so for every Black man I come across, I always smile. Every time I see a Black man, I smile. And I look at him and I'm like, there goes another king. Like, just walking and talking and existing and being, and not for how much money they make or what job they work at or what car they drive, but because they're waking up and they're getting the job done, no matter how hard it is. Nobody sits down. I'm not going to say no one, because there are people who sit down with Black men just like you're doing and ask, like, how are you? How you doing? How's everything going? You know, I think for those people, they got a special place in heaven for them, because Black men getting their butt kicked every day and they getting their teeth kicked in every day. And when somebody stops and says, Black man, I love you. Black man, I'm proud of you. It hits us different. I remember there was a young Black man. I saw him on the street and he was just walking with his head down. And I just stopped him and I was like, Black man, I love you. Like, I just love you and I'm proud of you. And he was like, man, you don't even know me. I was like, I don't need to know you. I don't have to know you to know that you woke up this morning, you put your clothes on, you walking out in the street. You might be tired, but you're walking, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, you're handling your business. And I'm proud of you for that. The simple things, you know, not like, oh, you went climb Mount Everest, none of that. And so I think that's what I'm proud of Black men for, is waking up in a world that isn't kind to us.
Absolutely.
And handling their business.
I love it. And I have just the chill bump. Like you said, it's the simple things like,
Yeah.
You know, I'm proud of you. You're a king, you know, because men need to be poured into as well, which is why I'm so excited about this segment, because like you said, oftentimes Black men aren't poured into, like, you know, are poured into, and especially Black men. And we have to lift our Black men. And I just, again, want to just thank your wife for giving you that safe place. You know, about just my husband and the safe place that I want to be for him, that I want to create for him, because when y'all step out into the world, it's a different world, you know.
Yeah.
Got chill, but I'm thinking about it. So about the Instagram segment, Let's Celebrate Black Men, how was that created and what do you do on that live?
Yeah, so that was celebrated out of the I'm proud of you Black man moment. I just really sat down and said to myself, like, I have enough influence to create a platform in a space where we could just celebrate Black men, man. Like, some of them have done like things that, you know, the whole world knows about and things like that. And then some of them are they just handling their business, man. I wanted to create a space where we just give Black men their flowers while they're still alive. You know, I just want to love them. Like, I just want to love on them, give them some space to talk about, you know, their work. Yesterday, I had a world-renowned saxophonist on. Last week, I had Omar Wilson on. and actually last week we had Dr. Robert Singleton the second on. And the week before that we had Omar Wilson on, the Black Sinatra. And so I think it's about time that we create a space where all we do is just celebrate Black men. And that doesn't mean that, we've forgotten about everyone else. No, but I'm just saying, let's prioritize Black men let's prioritize Black men, not for a little while let's just prioritize Black men the same way we need to prioritize increasing the pay for Black women. There's no reason why Black women should be at the bottom of the pay scale for years and years and years and years, and nobody's addressing it. And so in the same sense, I just want to prioritize Black men as a Black man. And as a Black man with some influence. I recognize I have influence. I'm not crazy. So I don't want to waste this opportunity to shine a light on just Black men existing, man. Like just smiling, existing, loving on each other, just the artistry, the existence of Black men. And so I created that with the intentions of just creating a space for Black men to love on each other, because it's not something that we have on film. Mm-hmm. It's not something that we have on TV. It's not something that we see. And I didn't expect it to get this much attention, but it's gotten a good bit of attention, and I think it'll continue to grow. And I think we'll end up with a YouTube series about it too. But I'm really excited for where it's going, and just the idea. And what's wild is that I didn't expect the Black men to be so appreciative for it too. But they're like, man, bro, thank you for that. Like, just thank you for stopping what you're doing and just telling me that I'm doing a good job. And it's kind of uncomfortable. Yesterday I had Kettler McComb, the saxophonist, and I was telling him, like, in great detail, like why, like, I really loved what he does. His approach to his art, to his music, to his saxophone work. And I was like, man, I'm really proud of you. Like, I really love what you do. And you could almost see him like, man, this is kind of uncomfortable. But that's because it doesn't happen that often. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So we kind of find ourselves in this place where it's almost uncomfortable. It's like, man, this feels weird. No, love ain't supposed to feel weird. Okay. Like, love is supposed to feel good. We're supposed to love on each other that way. So, yeah.
I love it. And again, I'm proud of you, Black man. And I just want to continue to encourage and uplift other Black men. And let's just continue to celebrate them. And another part of this Love Talk segment is Black Fathers Matter. And mm-hmm. that you can go on your page and see is that you are an amazing father. You post your daughters. The captions are very long and detailed and needed, let me add. And one thing that you said, fatherhood is your top priority. So what is...
For me, man, I think fatherhood is a privilege. I always think about the kings that are in that incarceration system, and they don't have the luxury of being around their babies. I have the luxury of being around my babies every day. I'm pretty sure if this door wasn't locked, my youngest child would probably run in here. But, it dawned on me that, like, my children just, like, run up to me and hug me, or they'll just run up to me and be like, hey, Dad, like, can we go play? That's when you step back and think about it, that's an amazing feeling. I'm like 6'2", 300 pounds. I'm like a big, burly guy. So for my kids to feel so comfortable that they could just like love on me and be loved on without any hesitation is remarkable. But it also speaks to just how much I love on them. Oftentimes I just take my children somewhere and I just sit down and I pour into them. And not because like, I don't want to record it. I don't want any of that stuff to happen. I just want them to know that, like, Daddy loves you. Like, I love you and I love to love you. It's my favorite thing to do. And because of that, I don't ever miss an opportunity to love on them. You know, if I get an opportunity to show up for them, I'm showing up and I'm showing out. You know, I'm gonna give it. Everybody gonna know I'm a daddy. You know, everybody knows. Like my kids are always like, man, my dad go over the top. But I always tell them, you know, I'm that dad I'm going to embarrass you in front of these people because I'm going to love on you. I'm not going to miss this opportunity to love on you because most of these people here are here by proxy. Like, they don't really love you like that. I love you. And I'm not just loving you when we at home and when we get in public, we going to feel good. No. I'm going to love you anywhere and everywhere. I never know when my last moment with you is. And so I'm just going to love you all the time. And not only that, you know, I was talking about this earlier, Angel, how, you know, I did my wife's hair for like 13 years. I maintained her locks for 13 years. And to that point, I did it because I loved my children. And I wanted them to see, like, I love you all so much, and I love your mom so much. I need you all to see how much I love you. And part of me loving you is loving your mom the right way. You know, I think that's important. I think it's important for our children to see their fathers loving on their mothers. I think there's something powerful in Black children seeing their Black father love on their Black mother in a way that's like not, oh, this need to be feel good and all that. Nah, like, you know, rubbing cocoa butter on my wife's belly when she was pregnant, you know, it just all the things, you know, I would do my wife's hair and then let my kids just like lay on me while I was doing her hair, you know, and obviously it makes it difficult to twist, you know, locks when they sitting there laying on you. But I also understand that like they all want love right now, you know, and obviously for my wife and I, that's a moment of intimacy, but my kids are like, I want love too. So, I think that's so important, man. It makes the world of a difference for your kids to see their father loving on their mother, whether y'all together or not. I think it's important to love on that woman because she needs that. Motherhood is motherhood is an elephant. Like, motherhood is an elephant. I cannot do some of the things that my wife does. I just can't. I don't have it in me to do some of the things that my wife does as a mother. Also, I don't think my wife has the wherewithal to do some of the things I do as a father. But, you know, everyone knows that motherhood is queen. Like, motherhood is it is what it is. And you know it is what it is. And so I think it's important for my kids to see me loving on their mom, but also loving on them, just loving on them in a way that, like, maybe it's not shown on TV. It doesn't show up in shows. It doesn't show up in movies, but I know it feels right.
And I love what you said about allowing them to see you love on their mom.
Mm-hmm.
That also gives them the blueprint. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it gives them, okay, I saw my dad do this, so this is what I'll accept. So I think
Mm-hmm.
that Black fathers are so important and a vital part of being in their children's life.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, because I know how much you love your kids, how much you said they're your legacy. I love how you pour affirmations into them. You'll say a word and then they'll say a phrase. You know, I love
Mm-hmm.
the way that you father your kids and the way you are a husband to your wife. So right now, I want you to look at that camera again and give a message to your kids.
Bugs and beans, y'all know how much I love y'all. I know y'all every day, I know. But I really love y'all. You all are the apple of my eye. Y'all, you know, next to your mom, y'all my everything. And I just want y'all to know that being my legacy is everything. You know, y'all my seed. I just really want the best for y'all every day. Not just on Sundays or on days when you're at school, but daddy's thinking about you and loving you every day. So if I'm over the top, it's because it's just love pouring out. And I truly love both of you more than words can express. That's my beans and bugs.
I love it. I want you give a message to Black fathers?
Black men, whether you had your father as a child or you didn't, you know what you needed when you were a child. You know what you wanted when you were a child. Just provide that. It may come at a great expense and it may be very difficult, but your children need it. Your children need a lot of the same love that you needed when you were a child. Find you some older Black men who have been fathering for a very long time and doing a good job at it, and allow them to lead you. That doesn't mean that you're weak. That doesn't mean that you're less than a man. That means that you're smart and you understand legacy building. Love on your children. You don't know when the last moment you'll have with your children will be. We could look to the shooting that just happened in Texas, or the ones that happened in Buffalo and in so many different other places. Car accidents happen every day. Children get sick every day. Don't miss an opportunity to love on your children. They're your seed. Like, that's going to be your legacy when you're going. It's not going to be how much money you have. It's not going to be what kind of car you drove. It's going to be your seed. And so love on your children without any hesitation. Be slow to anger and quick to listen. Understand that they're still babies. They trying to figure out how to live in this world, and they counting on you to help them to figure it out. Love on them without hesitation because they need it. And honestly, you need it. The act of loving on your children is therapeutic for you too. So make sure you're doing that. Spend more time doing that. Less time on your phone, less time hanging out with the homies, which is important too. But just spend some time with your children, some quality time, pouring into them, because either you're going to pour into them or the world's going to pour into them. And I can promise you, the world's pour is not the same as your pour. And in many cases, it's deleterious. So love on your babies. Love on your babies.
I love it. And I just want to thank you so much for coming on Love Talk, dropping those gems, speaking so highly of your wife, speaking so highly of yourself, other Black men, your kids. It's needed, it's wanted, it's loved, appreciated, and I am proud of you, Black man. So thank you so much. Much love, much success on your journey. Y'all have a good day. And I just want to thank you so much, Dr. Ledet, for even giving me this time. I know you're a busy man. And so much. It's appreciated. Definitely appreciated.
Thank you so much, Andrew.
You're so welcome. And y'all remember to believe in yourself.
Today's Love Talk is sponsored by Dotado.
No one's coming to push you.
Head on over to Dotado.com
No
to get all of your Dotado apparel.
No one's coming
Thank
to
you for
tell you to get
sponsoring
out the door and
today's
exercise.
Love Talk.
Nobody's coming to tell you to apply for that job that you've always dreamt about. Nobody's coming to write the business plan for you.